Hi there, I'm Dr. Melanie McNally from Destination U, coming to you from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Today, I want to talk about a crash course in adulting that many teens are unfortunately getting right now. So I often hear from teens who share really dysfunctional and toxic family systems and relationships, and they're trying to figure out how to navigate being a teen in these types of situations. So, for example, I might hear from a teen who has, a cheating parent in the family. Everyone knows that this parent is cheating because the parents have really poor boundaries. They're telling all the kids everything that's going on. And so you've got the one cheating parent. The non-cheating parent is either taking on the role of being a victim, poor me, why does this keep happening to me? Or they're taking on the role of the martyr, telling everybody, look at what I'm doing, look at what I sacrificed for this family, look at what I'm tolerating in order to keep the family together. And it's obviously really unhealthy for the teens or for the kids in the family, first of all, to know what's going on, to know all of this drama between the parents, and then also for them to be faced with a lot of the fights and the drama that occurs between the parents, where the teens are now like put in the middle or they're a part of it. Sometimes I hear from teens about, parents who don't sleep in the same bedroom, parents who treat each other with absolute contempt and hatred, parents who are hiding spending habits from the other one, coming home with all kinds of shopping bags and saying, don't you dare tell the other parent about what I bought. Just lots of, dishonesty and toxicity. And the teens that I hear from are often terrified that they're going to end up like their parents. They're going to end up either in a marriage like their parents, or they will end up like one of the parents themselves. And I always reassure them, like, first of all, don't worry about ending up like them. You're not going to, because you have something that they don't, which is awareness. You are aware of how dysfunctional and unhealthy the marriage is or the dynamic is within the family system. And that awareness is huge, because when you're aware, you can create change. And oftentimes these parents aren't even aware of how unhealthy they are. And that's part of what keeps them stuck. Another thing I like to reassure teens is that you have the choice to do things differently. Just because your parents are really unhealthy, maybe you've got siblings who are coping with the unhealthy family systems by drinking, or maybe with eating disorders, or maybe with having lots of sexual partners. Just because either your parents are really unhealthy or your siblings are, doesn't mean that you have to make those same choices. You can make different choices. You can choose to focus on healthy habits and healthy behaviors. You can choose to surround yourself with friends who are good for you, who are positive influences. You can focus on, schoolwork or a sport or a hobby or an interest to keep you occupied and to keep you focused on your future, instead of being, just constantly bombarded with what's going on in the present at home. And I also like to tell teens there is no shame in this. Oftentimes teens will hold this stuff inside. They're part of this family, system, and they're embarrassed and they're ashamed and they don't want to tell a single person. I know what this feels like. I grew up in a really unhealthy and toxic family environment with parents who were abusive of one another. There was lots of physical fighting. There was emotional abuse. It was really unhealthy, really toxic and dysfunctional. Everybody kind of coped with it in their own ways in my family. There was alcohol abuse and eating disorders and all kinds of, behavioral problems. But that doesn't mean that that's the road you have to take. And that also doesn't mean that you have to hold all of that inside. You can share what's going on with trusted friends, trusted relatives, trusted teachers, therapists, psychologists, social workers. You don't have to hold this inside, because when you hold that inside, it's going to come out in some way. It's either going to come out through a physical health problem, like lots of stomach aches or headaches or muscle tension. It may come out through your own behavioral problems, where you just have these angry outbursts out of the blue, where you don't really understand why you feel so angry. Maybe it's constant irritability, constant anxiety. So it's going to come out somehow. So we have to be able to share it with people that we trust, and know that your family, the dysfunction in your family, is not a reflection of who you are as a person. It's not a reflection of who you are as a person. And so if you can realize that this is my family, it's separate from me, I don't have to behave in this way. I don't have to feel ashamed, because I had nothing to do with, the way my parents communicate with one another. I don't have that kind of power or control over anybody. So remember that. And then lastly, stay focused on your future. Stay focused on what you want your future to look like. So I mentioned earlier, if you have future goals, whether it's getting into a particular college, or maybe you have a hobby or interest that you really enjoy, maybe you're really into fashion, or you're really into art or tennis, whatever it may be, spend your time focusing on that interest. Learn everything you can about it. Take lessons, watch YouTube videos, spend time practicing and honing your craft. Or if it's to get into a particular college, spend time with tutors, or reading extra books, or talking to teachers, so that you can stay focused on your future and getting out of the house. Once I left my family home for college, I never moved back. Not even the summer after my freshman year. I just got a job and stayed near campus. So stay focused on that future, knowing that eventually you will get out of this home. You can take space away from your family if you need to. You can learn how to create healthy boundaries with them in the future. But for now, stay focused on your future goals, what you want to do. Talk to people that you trust. Don't hold it inside, and know that it will get better. And you are getting a crash course in how not to be an adult. And that will serve you wonderfully in the future, because you know what you do not want a marriage to look like. You know what you do not want a relationship with somebody else to look like. If you choose to have children, you know how you do not want to parent. So you're learning really important life lessons early on, and that will serve you very well. All right, I'll see you next time.